Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC, and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so we're back here again tonight, and tonight we're going to be building Harry's PC. Yay. So Harry hit us up, about a week ago I think. On the weekend maybe? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, and he had roughly $2,000 budget. I think it came in just a little bit over that for this, but I think it's worth it given the components and everything like that. So, just after basically, this is sort of, I guess you'd call this a lower mid-range PC in this day and age. Yeah, it's pretty sad when it's. It's just such a shame that, you know, it's not more like $1,500. You know, yeah, I would have really liked to have been able to buy this graphics card for what, $300-400 less than what I did. But you know, that's the day and age that we are in. All right, who we got here? We got Tim. Hey man, how you going? We got Mark here and Donald. Hey Donald, how you going, man? Haven't seen you for ages. Yeah, no, he's normally Don normally works at night, so he can't always be here. So
after doing like nearly 10 years of like closes of Coles,
yep, yeah, it can be a bit rough. Yep. Alrighty, well let's just get stuck into it. So for our CPU, we've got the i3 10105f. We're going to be putting it on the Gigabyte UD B560M DSH3HAC. Bit of a mouthful there as always. Motherboard.
Mark says hopefully the price of graphics cards come down soon.
Yeah,
I do.
they will.
Launch early next year.
When stuff's happening. Alright, and so we've got the RTX 2060 for our graphics card. We've got 16 gigabytes of a Data Spectrix D41 memory. We've got a Crucial P1 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD, plus a 2 terabyte Samsung 870 QVO SSD. We've got a Thermaltake BX1 650 watt power supply here with 5-year warranty and bronze rated efficiency. And we have the MSI MagCore Liquid 240R, it's 240mm all-in-one liquid cooler, which is a little bit of an interesting one because the pump is actually in the radiator, not in the CPU block. So there's a few little differences about how you want to mount this cooler. Yeah, it shouldn't really be top. It shouldn't really be top mounted, despite any pictures you may have seen of this cooler.
Just because the pump is in the actual radiator itself, there's going to be air that gets caught up in there.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
So yeah, you'll always end up there's always a pocket of air in all-in-one liquid coolers. So the pump can't be at the high point of the loop. If not, you'll end up with a pocket of air inside the pump, and it basically reduces the capacity of the pump as well as what it could, and so it's constantly straining itself trying to move. Basically pumps are designed to move liquid. They are not designed to move air. You can get a special kind of pump that's designed to move air, but pumps that are designed to move liquid, they're designed to move liquid. They're not designed to move air. Air is problematic in all cases. So if any of you have lived in a rural area on where you've got pumps and stuff like that to move water around the property, you'd probably be well aware of what a pocket of air inside one of your lines can do if it reaches the pump, and then you'll have to reprime the thing. Yeah.
Toilet or whatever that's going on.
Normally with that though, that's pretty foolproof because you normally got a tank and you normally got a pump at the bottom of the tank. gravity, air,
Anyway.
yeah. But like, yeah, in general,
Tim.
yeah,
Sounds good, thanks, buddy. Right off. Woohoo.
yeah, nice.
Since Kiwi hardship water cooling team, I'm thinking about making the system my system a bit more pretty.
Yeah, but like, I don't recommend builds like now with custom
There's
loops.
another fact as well that they get mold quite often because of heat and water.
Yeah, I'm not so much concerned about that because you can just swap the tubing out and all that. But the main thing I don't like about custom loops is you always seem to end up with like a lot of bends and stuff like that in the tubing to do it right. And while it looks really cool, what you're doing is you're creating lots and lots and lots of different places where little tiny bubbles of dissolved air that gets dissolved in the liquid, can start to deposit. So what happens after you run them for a few days is you end up with little pockets of air all angle to make the air move through the system, because like I was saying, air doesn't move in pipes by pumps that are designed to move liquid. It just gets stuck in high points. So it looks really nice, but like it's the sort of thing that in reality you get a PC like that and it gets old really fast. Basically, people sort of buy a PC like that and it'll be like the last time they ever buy a PC like that. You know, it's for that reason. So like, you know, you're in Brisbane, so it's no worries. I can build it for you and stuff. And then, you know, you're right here. If you have any problems with it, it's not an issue. You know, I can build it for you and fill it, and you can pick it up. You know, that's always going to be less risky than me shipping it to you empty and then you going to fill it, hoping that everything's stayed in place while shipping.
There was one PC that you got to fix, and there was bugger all coolant in the
I got that one from I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh no. Dom says now I'm a sad Dom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I just make sure people are aware of like the day-to-days with it, because like it looks really cool, but then yeah, like with the one that Christine just mentioned, the one that I got to fix that was like overheating and like we did. I filled that thing up as much as I could, and despite my best efforts, even after like a couple of days, it would still end up with air deposited, particularly on the on and around the EK water block that went over the CPU and some of the MOSFET and BRMs and stuff like that around the CPU. And what would happen is after leaving the system running for like a couple of days, you would end up with quite a large pocket of air inside the block of the CPU.
It starts to foam.
Yeah, well that's what it is. The foaming ends up dissolving little microscopic bubbles of air in the liquid, and then as that moves through you'll start to see it as like little like bits of white forming at the top of the pipe, and it's little tiny bubbles of air, and then over time that becomes an actual air pocket. And then you got to really tilt the thing up and all that, and like that's fine if you're going, yes, sweet, I don't mind tilting the PC every couple of days and stuff like that. That's all good, sweet as. But like obviously for the average person who comes to me wanting a PC, I can't recommend that to people, because that's not generally what they have in their head when they own a PC. They think that the PC gets built and then it's all good.
When we have our shop front, we'll probably have a water PC.
Yeah, yeah.
PC just for looks, but you know.
But yeah, the thing I try to give people all of the right advice here. I'm not just trying to like just sell people whatever. I'm too lazy to be tilting crap. Yeah, and see, yeah, that's exactly how it goes down. It's like, yeah, sweet, looks awesome, you're all good, and then, you know, a few weeks later you're like, man, I hate having to tilt this thing, because it'll either be like, you can see this big pocket of air, you're not noticing much difference in performance, but you'll see this big pocket of air and it'll piss you off, and then the pocket is forming in such a place, like over the CPU, where it could become problematic and impact your performance. So it goes from being a pain in the ass to being, worst case scenario, something that actually impacts your performance. And yeah, like, I mean, old mate who bought that PC, he bought it from another business, and they had it like half filled.
Yeah.
That's. There was like the reservoir, right? The reservoir was like, it's about this tall. It was filled up about that much, and the liquid's just dropping from there into this bottom bit. There's all this foam inside it and stuff. Nothing about this is all right.
No.
So.
I don't know anything about like water cooled PCs, really.
No, and so what was happening was there was no flow of liquid through the graphics card properly. Like it wasn't. There was an airlock or something in the pipe, and so it wasn't, the liquid wasn't flowing through the loop properly. It was flowing through, but because of the airlock, it had slowed down the movement of the fluid through the loop to the point where the fluid wasn't moving through the the graphics card water block enough at a fast enough. So what would happen is you'd game on it until the graphics card overheated and the whole computer would just shut down because it's got something overheating. And the guy was just like, oh, he couldn't work it out, and then the person he bought it off like shut up shop and went AWOL and couldn't find him.
Yeah,
and
that was a bit fucked.
yeah, so that was kind of a bit dodgy. But yeah, you know, it is what it is, and I just let people know exactly what they're getting themselves into if they get a PC like that. And then they come back to me and they're like, hey, I've got to do all this stuff, why didn't you tell me about this when I bought it? Sort of thing. And you're sort of like, you know, the dodgy car salesman who just like gets the person into a car and doesn't even tell them about the potential problems or shortfalls of that particular model. And they come back, why did you sell me this car? Oh well, I don't care, mate, you bought it. I don't want to be that guy, so. Alright, well, we go through the components. I think we got up to the 2060 there. We've got the memory. Oh no, we went through everything, I think. We just got up to the case, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the MSI 100R, Forge 100R, I think it's called. It had a ridiculous slogan on the box.
Tim and I were like,
the sort of bullshit, the sort of bullshit slogans that they sometimes put on computer parts and stuff like that. So wait for this, right? We got a mid-tower case here. It's a pretty good case. It's got an included RGB controller and stuff like that. A couple of pre-installed RGB fans. But like, let's be real. It's a mid-tower case. It's not like it's the most expensive case. It's not like the case with the most features or anything. But the slogan for it, the power.
I'm sorry.
Gonna go beyond the power with my mid-tower case. You just gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh sometimes, eh? It's like, who's that for? Who the fuck is that for? Right? Apple people? I don't know. Anyway, so let's get started on this build. So we're gonna really drop the memory. We're just gonna get started here. We've gone through this motherboard a fair few times. So we got Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 4.2 on this board. We've got dual M2 slots. It pretty much ticks all the boxes. Even 6 SATA ports if you want to go crazy with a RAID array. Did you see a pair of scissors out here? I thought I had.
Geez. I've seen multiple pairs of scissors. Here we go. Pushing the cat.
Keep the cat hair. That's alright. We'll just keep the cat hair and the computer components separate.
Check this out.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have a long hair cat. And see,
I still haven't finished.
it's not an optional thing to brush the cat.
You need to, because otherwise he'll end up with mats.
Yeah, the breed actually requires a certain amount of brush. Well, you kind of are. You're stopping it from getting so badly matted that like the mats work their way down to the skin, and then they can't even walk properly because they get so badly matted from the fur. It pulls on the skin, then they start like waddling around all weird. It's really bad.
With dogs too.
Yeah, same thing can happen with dogs. Any animal with fur that's like really long, thick fur is subject to it.
Well,
We've got another Tim here. Hey Tim, how you going? Got a few Tims here tonight.
Yay!
The name and they're just like, oh man, this has got to be quality content right here.
Oh, obviously it is. Tim's doing it.
Alrighty, so we'll put in our CPU.
Tim's doing it.
Thanks, babe. Alright. So with our LGA sockets that we see on Intel, when you install your CPU, if you're going to damage something, it's probably going to be when you do that. So get that part right. Alright.
I'm sorry.
Go. And we've got our board with our cable just tucked around the feet there and plugged in discreetly. You can barely see any cable. Alright, let's do our memory and we'll do our SSD. Yeah, you could stuff a cat with his fur. She's got even more now.
It's really soft.
You should see the vacuum cleaner. Oh yeah, it's a very clean cat. Like it's like my room here. If you come in here, it's pretty messy. It's a workspace, but the cat is clean. We make sure of that. That's the important part. The cat is clean. Because man, that would stink if he was dirty and all his fur was around.
Oh god.
Oh, that would stink.
Oh jeez.
But no, he gets bathed He doesn't like it, but he just sits there and cops it sweet.
So last time, I think it was just the warm water, but he knows.
Yeah, that's just the warm water. We're too nice. We give him warm water and stuff. And yeah.
Son broke his ducky one. Two keyboard after losing getting the DOS.
Oh.
He banged it a few times and now it works. And when it wants to repair it, or should he just get a new one?
Just get a new one, depending on what it is. I mean, if you've got like a nice,
like my brother.
if you've got like a nice keyboard, right, with replaceable switches and stuff, you could that were like for the keys that weren't working or responding. But
Wait till he turns 15. He's gonna be snapping keyboards like my brother.
yeah, well, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Game's cheating.
The game's cheating. Oh man.
I remember him getting so cranky sometimes he broke a couple of keyboards.
I mean,
Me and Dad used to
I've-
play out.
I've like chucked a few controllers in my time, but I've never snapped a keyboard. I've banged a keyboard a couple of times. Like I've banged it and like keys have like come flying out, but I've never snapped a keyboard, and I never like broke a keyboard as such. Like if you count the keys falling out, yeah, but I plugged them back in and it worked. So.
Intel's grade processor new,
Oh.
at least in Intel Ryzen 7. That's budget build, dude. Budget
Yeah.
build. Don says he's 15 now. He blames hackers all the time. Yes.
Oh man,
Oh, dude.
that just makes me think of this. I don't know if anyone follows like American politics, but there's this thing, and he's like obsessed with there being like a conspiracy to hack the American elections and stuff like that. Anyway, like regardless of your thoughts on politics and stuff like that, it's just hilarious to watch this guy who is in no way has any understanding of technology try to talk about how the election in America was hacked
I know.
and how he can prove it with the data, but he has absolutely no the things that he says. It's just, oh man. And anyway, he always says things like, this was attacked, we know this was attacked, this was hacked, we know that it was hacked, and it's like watching a train crash in slow motion, because the dude's being sued for like billions of dollars by the owners of Dominion and Smartmatic voting systems, the companies that make vote counting machines. Like he said that the vote counting, they've gone to investigate at the counties that he said have been hacked, and the people are like, oh no, the machine there, oh, it's not even connected to the internet, you can't hack it, and all the votes go into a locked box, and we do audits of it against what the computer says. So we've got paper ballot backups for all of the votes, and we've already audited it like a number of times. What do you want? Anyway, he's gone and said all this shit about these companies. They're suing him for billions of dollars, and he won't back down, and he keeps doing it. He keeps going on the air. He's got his own own sort of like version of YouTube, because he's like banned from YouTube, so he made another one. It is absolutely hilarious. If you're looking for like that random story about something like that slow moving train crash, this is the story, because I'm just waiting to hear, like, you know, he's gone to court to be sued. Last week he tried suing the Daily Mail for saying that he had a relationship with the actress from magazine, like the Daily Mail. You're gonna sue them for writing some bullshit article about you and a celebrity? You're gonna claim in court that that's damaged your reputation? Anyway, he did this, and of course it just got laughed out of court. The judge was like, in what reality has this article hurt you financially in such a way that we would award damages? And just got laughed out of court. But anyway, dude's name's Mike Lindell. Look him up. It is fucking hilarious. I think that's just school holidays and all the kids playing Fortnite.
Yeah, and Hayden says, "Hey man, read your page. I bought a PC not long ago. It continues to crash. I changed the GPU and sent back the motherboard to where I bought it, and I was wondering if you had any advice."
It's hard to sort of just give you any advice, like, without sort of seeing a bit more of the system and all that. But like, if you're in and around southeast Queensland, you can always bring the PC into me. I do no fix, no pay repairs. I also do it live, so you can get a bit of insight into the mentality of the repair process and stuff like that. If you're abroad and you're stuck and you need help, I know people all around the country who do stuff like me, run businesses like mine. Well, not like mine, but other PC businesses around the country. Some relatively big ones, plenty of smaller ones. But yeah, I can refer you to someone. So if you're down in Sydney, we've got a couple of guys down there who'll definitely be able to help you. Same, though Melbourne is a very spread out kind of area, and it can take a little while to get between different parts of the city. So I understand that sometimes travelling from one side of Melbourne to the other for a PC repair is sort of like a little bit beyond reasonable, I guess. And you know what I've done that was really stupid? I've gone and put this cooler on the CPU because it's an i3, but we're putting this better looking cooler on it. That's really embarrassing. That's just proof of how tired I am. But at least I noticed. Excellent. Love that. Love making mistakes live on my own channel. It's awesome. Alright, let's get on to it. What's that? It's good for views, yeah, everyone likes seeing me fuck up. Alrighty, so this is the cooler that's a little bit different. This is the one with the pump inside the radiator. So we got some different considerations when we mount this. It's in the radiator. We need to make sure that the pump is not at the high point. So we're going to mount this like this, because if you see, There's the power for our pump. Our pump is located in this little block here. And so you probably can't really make it out, but there are pipes inside the radiator there that move the liquid around that are connected to these ones, and then the pump moves it around, so we can have a bit of a pocket of air up here. It's up where the pipes are, but you can get away with it. It's not what I would call a cardinal sin. The cardinal air has the potential of getting caught in the pump there. So unfortunately I am actually led to believe that the documentation even has a picture of, let me have a look. Does it have a picture that gives you the impression it's top mounted? Yep, it sure does. So that's a little bit interesting. I think there'll definitely be some that certainly gives you the impression that top mounting this is okay, when really it shouldn't be top mounted. I don't care what they've done there, there's always potential for the air pocket to end up getting trapped in the pump. Pump should never be at the high point of the loop. Pumps 101. So these are, I'm actually going to plug these in up the top, and we're going to mount our radiator to the front of this case. Oh, is this the don't forget about the evidence? Is this the one where he says just forget about the evidence?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh man, that's gold. Just forget about the evidence. Oh man, it's too good.
It says in the chat, just forget about the evidence.
Ah, sweet. Oh man, that is it's too fucking good.
The video I shared from it was the reporter responding to.
Yeah, if you oh man, if you want to look at stupid Americans, like, oh dude.
Just forget about the evidence.
He's being interviewed by a reporter from CNN, like major news network over there, right? And the dude's like, so what's the evidence? He's at this cyber symposium, he called it.
Just recently.
Yeah, he did one for Thanksgiving. He said that the Supreme Court was going to vote 9-0 to accept this
okay.
evidence that would
okay.
overthrow the 2020 election, and that Donald Trump was going to be president again. I'm just like, dude, just forget about the politics. That's insane either way. Yeah, have a fucking laugh if you haven't seen this character. Jesus, that's really... go. Look at that. Needed a bit of force for that. There we go. Very hard to put together backplate there. Get it on. Alright, so it's got these little bolt covers here. Just makes it look a bit neater. And it's also designed to kind of stop the over tightening the bolts. So you might think putting more and more pressure on it will lead to better contact, but yeah, you definitely want to make sure you don't over tighten it, because you can actually crack the motherboard itself. Okay, so this has got the rotatable thing, so we can put this however we want. So I'm going to mount it like that. Or can I get away? Or do I have to manage to do this? Yeah, I think we can do this. I think we'll be able to get away with that. What graphics card have we got? MSI Ventus.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Yep. We're gonna mount it like this, which is orientating it like this is as good as top mounting. So top mounting and pipes at the bottom is gold standard. What's that?
Don says, I don't think my son really the yard for a month if I give him my 30 days. He seems to have gotten his job is to mow the yard anyway.
You're already getting paid for that, man.
Dude.
I don't need it mowed every single day.
Maybe if he goes around and like cuts it with like a hand, like scissors, maybe.
No, but why would you pay someone to cut your lawn with hand scissors?
No.
That's kind of
that's cute.
it's kind of cute, right? Okay, so we're gonna go like. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around which way the pipes are going to be positioned in the case when the CPU block is on. Okay. I want the bend out that way.
Yeah.
Sweet.
As long as it's not bent around.
Yeah.
Don says I put a 1080 Ti in this system. He only plays Rust and Rainbow Six Siege. Kids are never happy.
Oh man. Did you tell him like
Tell him
1080
he's
Ti is like a flat?
Does.
Yeah. 1080 Ti. That's what's wrong with the 1080? What's wrong with the 1080 Ti?
It's not a 3080.
It's not a 3080. Oh man.
Well, tell him when he gets a job, he can save up for a 3080.
Yeah.
Hey, Coles and Woolies are always looking for new people. No, don't. Don't do it. What do you do? I mean, no. You have to wear Coles.
Oh, that only
I-
rotates one.
Did you say?
It only rotates one way.
Just talking speed. These are already got zip ties on them. Too.
Yeah. Alright, so for the front of our case here, we're going to have to take this panel off. This should just be, yes, just a completely removable panel. So because we're going to be mounting our radiator with these fans here, we're going to have to add another fan in here. So I don't think Harrison's watching at the moment. So
I'm assuming you only need one solder.
if he wants, I can swap the fans. Sorry, I'm talking. I can't just stop talking whenever you decide to start talking. Okay. That's not how it works.
I thought it did.
When it's Christine from Christine's PC, I'll shut up and let you talk. There you got goals. My new business rival. Ah, nice. Yep. Yep. There you go. Learn the value of time.
Has Tim heard anything interesting about the new 4000 series GPUs?
No, sorry. I've just heard probably the same like rumors and stuff that you've probably heard. Yeah, most of the talk is really about the cheap end of the market. That's where the news is.
Indeed.
Nvidia launching 3050, which they were going to launch this year, but they've decided to gouge the world.
AMD are also going to be.
Yeah, the so-called GPU shortage is just going to miraculously disappear next year.
Oh,
There's going to be millions of
that.
cards. Look at it.
Oh,
All of
wow.
a sudden, we've just got plenty of capacity.
Look at
We're
that.
producing plenty of cards. There's no shortage. Yeah.
Assholes.
Call me cynical, but I don't
No,
buy
they are.
I don't
They're
buy the
doing it on
shortage.
purpose.
I don't buy the shortage. Alright, you got a power supply there. I'll put this down here to the side for now. But yeah, definitely check out the Mike Lindell thing. That is just absurdity to laugh at. Like, it epitomizes like the dumb American. The American with more money than sense kind of thing. Like, yeah. Oh man. I just can't look away.
No.
No. We like the questions here because it gives me something to talk about. Because as you probably appreciate, I run out of things that I think are relevant to sort of continue to rant on about while I'm building PCs like this. Because it's like, yeah, I don't know what people don't know. So if people ask me questions about what they don't know, then I can spend more time talking about what people don't know.
Tim,
Yeah.
if you don't say
Is this logic?
And I get $88 an hour, just like Tim.
$88 an hour. Yeah, when I'm charging for labour, I get $88 an hour. What about when I'm working for free?
Ooh.
There's the flip side. Doing things I'm not getting paid for it. If I could just get $88 an hour all the time, that'd be good. I'd build PCs for people for free if someone just paid me $88.
I don't know if that's the free though.
I don't know how that actually stacks up in, you know, the real world. But yeah, like if someone wants to just pay me to build PCs in front of the camera all day for $88 an hour, I'll do that. As long as I have the option to be able to work extra hours in the weeks that I need extra money. I just need that option, then I'll just do this all day. I'll build everyone's PC for no labour charge. Yeah.
Tim joins LTT.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's got a bit of money to pay me to do this shit.
And me too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hey, I've seen his house, man. Have you seen his house? He's got some money. Alrighty, what have we got here for our SSD? Looks like we just got a single tray. Beyond the power, I guess.
I think that's the theme.
Beyond the power.
Don says it's crazy the money he makes for PC builds.
Oh, can you imagine what it would cost to have Linus build your PC for you live?
Minimum grand, just
Oh,
even
and
look
the
at it.
rest.
Just to look at it.
Yeah.
Don says we should get you some sponsors, mate.
Nah, I don't want to be forced to say shit that I don't want to say. That sounds like a regular job.
It sounds like
I gotta say things and promote things that I don't necessarily want to promote because it's my. Yeah.
Tim is easily as good as mine.
Oh.
Damn straight.
Alrighty. Jeez, that doesn't fit in too tightly, does it? Okay. Just don't mount the bolts.
Eh?
The fuck? That bolt hole.
That just came straight. Look how big that screw hole is.
What the fuck? Is there a piece that I was screwing into back there that's fallen out?
No.
No?
It's a really. Look how big that hole
Yeah, I
is.
know, it's huge. Yeah. maybe if I like.
Maybe put like a nut or something on the back of it.
Hang on, I've got it on an angle there. There we go.
Very good.
Beyond the power. I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous. This night, the theme of this night is ridiculous things. Okay. So we got the pillow guy in America. He's pretty ridiculous. We got the fucking Beyond the Power. That's pretty ridiculous. Me ranting about shit's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, everything's ridiculous.
So,
Yeah.
my son, it's huge, and he just yelled out. That's what she said.
Oh god. No. Oh no, we're getting into these jokes. That just means the night's deteriorating, right? It's just rapidly deteriorating by this point. Okay. So let's get our motherboard in the case here. Got those
It's a
offsets.
cheeky boy, that one. Maybe he's been listening too hard.
Oh. Jesus. Not responsible for ridiculous children. Oh jeez, I've got to put. They only had bolts in here for a small form factor ATX board. So I need to install not just this two normal mini micro ATX board. I have to install the other two as well, and even if you had a regular size ATX board, you still have to screw in 3 extra offsets. Beyond the power. Every time there's something wrong, I'm going to say beyond the power, I guess. Set it on the fucking box, man. It set it on the box, alright?
Oh,
So, every time there's something wrong, that's what I'm going to think of.
Beyond the power.
You should probably bring the box up so people can see exactly what I'm talking
yes, I will. Anyway, Tim, it's a cheeky boy, that one. He's in love with Tim's office.
about.
I'm pretty sure Tim's got a cool office.
Oh, it's all. You know, like how good can office really be? Like, it can be cool, but you know. Hey, at least I don't have like like those motivational pictures that you see in like the typical corporate offices. Anyway, we now have all the correct fans in place, except for that front one. We've got all of the correct offsets. We've got. Oh, it looks like we've got. Let's say something positive here. They've got one of the guidance bolt offsets, but the problem with that is that it's up here instead of, it should be in this middle position here. That's the standard for the guidance bolt, which is, it's just the same as the other offsets, but it's got a slightly raised, like pivoted up bit in the middle that allows the board to like line up nicely. But it shouldn't be in the top position there, it should actually be in the middle of the board there, so I guess beyond the power. I guess beyond the power is when you turn the computer off or something. Yep. Yeah, show people. Beyond the power. I thought that was very interesting.
It's just mundane.
Yeah, I know, right? I guess that's what the real purpose is. It's to make guys like me smile when we open the box. To get us psyched up for our budget PC build. Okay. I'll leave these fans up the top till later. Let's get our board in place.
It's going to help.
Not with this bit. This is actually.
Are you going to be adding any extra RGB?
Well, I don't know because Harrison's not here.
Oh.
Well, I could say something good now because it still holds the board in okay at the top position. It's just not technically correct. The guidance bolt is in that top one there instead of the middle one.
Oh, why is?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's some sort of a mistake. Because beyond that. I don't know.
I think that's going to be a running joke.
that is definitely a running joke for tonight. All right, so I'll show you something. I'll show you something cool now. So if you want to mount a radiator to the front like this, you might already have some fans installed. So it's actually relatively easy to swap the fans over and attach the radiator. Because if we take our fan bolts, right, what we need to do, and they've screwed them in the wrong way, okay, they want to make it difficult for me. So they have made it more difficult for me because now I've got screws on the back there that I've got to undo. So I actually have to disconnect both of these fans. See, if they were screwed in from the front here, then we could just swap one bolt and then screw in the correct bolt and then just work our way up until we've done it and swapped all of the bolts out. But we can't do that because obviously our bolts are on the other side here, so we have to do it the hard way. Bolts we remove. Put the radiator down here out of the way. We don't have to touch the position of that fan. So we're going to use this plain fan to go on in the middle because it's sort of covered up by our case. But we can swap it for an RGB one. And so all we need to do is just line up that, screw it in. And we can just do the same with one more bolt up the top here. And we've pretty much done the hard work now. Now we just have to screw in the other bolts.
Is that fan control?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fans though. It's just RGB.
No,
But that's all good.
that's still good, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. Me and Isaac were talking about this series of cases and how it's one of the ones that like is a good pick because like it's got the included RGB controller.
Yeah.
We were talking about MSI fans as well and stuff, and we were like, yeah, we really like it. Goes together really well and good value and yeah, all that nerdy shit. So Isaac owns the company Titan Tech. So if you've ever heard of them, that's the guy I'm talking about now. Let's just get this title there. Yeah, we're putting them on the top. Alrighty.
Did you want that sticky over the
Oh, I think maybe those ones do, but not the ones that I normally use. They look the same, but they're not the same. Okay. So we got this RGB cable for the radiator that can just go up the top there like that. No problem.
hang on. I think I'm meant to peel.
Don't wreck it.
No!
Don't break it.
I'm gonna throw this at you because I will.
She will.
No, I won't hold back. I will chuck it. Fuck you. No, I'm not gonna fuck that. I don't think that comes off.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It really looks like it. Meow.
So plug our RGB controller in down there, run that cable down behind the board. And as for our fans, So we got a, where is it? Here it is. We get a fan to Molex connector for our pump. So if you've heard me rant on about pumps and powering them and how going between different power levels can damage the pump and make it die quicker, you'll know that if I get a DC adapter for it, I'll just plug it in DC so you can't even make that mistake. Alrighty, and then we have a total of 6 fans to power. So I got a 2 fan splitter, but that's probably not going to be good enough. Okay, so I've got a couple of triple fan splitters here. These. I'm thinking cis fan 1 for the short one. Be able to conceal that when we run our CPU power cable. And then as to this other one, I might just plug that into the CPU fan header up the top here. Alrighty, I think that's everything that we need to route behind the board. Oh no, we got front panel audio and just front panel audio? No, just front panel connections. I don't think they really have to be behind the board. I think we can kind of go to the side here. Go like kind of behind the board, I guess. But let's keep it nice and neat. There we go. So everything's plugged in up the top that we have to. The front panel audio to run behind the board here. So you don't have to run them behind the board, but it just looks a lot neater when you've got a micro ATX board in an ATX case. So the only thing to watch out for is the cables are being pressed down by anything on the back of the board. It should just be able to be loosely moved around back there without any problems. If not, then you might want to consider repositioning it. If you ever see me and I've set a PC up like that, and you see me start messing around with a cable and I'm like, oh, I don't like that, sometimes it's because part of the board is pressing on the cable, and that's not best practice at all. So alrighty, so we just got USB 3 and fans to plug in, really. So no big deal there at all. So we might get these two up the top going on. I might just quickly plug in CPU power cable before I start getting rid of the room up the top there. Tom just said, wow, a bit quiet tonight. Speak up, people. Say hi, Tim. Tim won't bite. Yeah, man, it gets a bit quiet sometimes. But it's a funny time of year, you know. Like people are busy, you know. Wouldn't call this a normal night by any means. All right. Okay, so I've got all of our fans and RGB plugged in at the back here. Got our USB 3 here. So I need to bend this cable around on an angle there. And then we've just got our motherboard. Okay. I'll use these two. Got no USB 2 devices or anything to plug into this. Oops, hang on, notice we've got snap out pieces there. So he does, it's coming along. So all we've got left to do now is our graphics card. So where has she put the graphics card? Oh, come on, babe. There's a reason why I put it down. The 2060. Almost said 3060 then. Very good. Okay, so our graphics card. Thinking I'll just come in down here. And we'll tie things up around there. Pretty sweet. All right, let's see in there properly. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with this. Oh, I just seen one missing screw. So now I've just got SATA cables to plug in around the back, but we won't actually do that just yet. I'll plug them in a bit later. So first, let's see if it actually is going to post for us. Alrighty, moment of truth. Which one's the power button? Looks like this one. None of our fans at the front appear to be turning. The RGB's definitely on. Okay, let's go on with this fan. All right. There we go, look at that. Alright, so we're into our BIOS here. There we go. Okay. And now fans started turning. That's weird. Okay, no radiator or anything in here. Okay. Hey Nick, how you going? Alright, so we'll smash through this Windows install. And we'll be able to ship off Harry's PC. There's our main drive there. So now that that's sorted, I can go and plug in our SATA drive back here. All right. All right. Okay. Center. No Acronis. No AMD. No IQ. Cooler Master. Alright, let's set up MSI Afterburner here while the rest of this stuff does its thing. Okay, we should be looking pretty good. All right. Alrighty, so we're on the home stretch now. There we go. Alrighty, well, let's run some game benchmarks. Look at those low temps. Okay, so we'll run Heaven here on the out of the box settings. So obviously this number here below RAM is how many frames per second it's running at. so that was Heaven there. Looks like it had just finished running through once. And next one we run is Valley. This one on Ultra, Max Anti-Aliasing. Okay, so the final one is our 4K benchmark. So with a 2060, we're probably looking at about 30 frames a second at 4K. So it will game at 4K, but in general, yeah, you're probably most people who buy this card aren't going to be gaming at 4K, but it gives you an understanding of how it performs. Okay, so that was superposition there. And so the final part of the night is where we mistakenly opened Microsoft Edge. So that should be all up to date there. What happened to MSI Afterburner and Reaver Tuner? Seems to be still running. There it is. Right at the point where we don't need it anymore. Okay. Set this up for a 90-minute run. I don't even think we're going to hit 55 degrees on the CPU with this cooler on it. Alrighty, well, I think that's pretty much it. I think we might hit 55, but we're not gonna see much over that. Graphics card, nah, not even close. Plenty of airflow in this case. Nice balanced airflow, 3 in, 3 out. It's not even gonna get hot. Alrighty, well, I think I might. So thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.